9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Your body is a temple, but only if you treat it well. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bubble Chat Season 2. And we are here with one of the best nutritionists, Dr. Surbhi. Welcome, Dr. Surbhi. She has a beautiful experience of 20 years in nutrition. She's there in Medanta, and she's here on the platform of Morepen at Bubble Chat. And please welcome Dr. Surbhi.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much, Ritu, for the lovely introduction. So I've been working for Medanta for close to a decade now, and have been handling majorly lifestyle disease patients. So my forte is managing weight and lifestyle diseases like cardiac disease, fatty liver disease, and so many more like this. So and it's the need of the hour when we are here today to talk about diet, because diet is something that is one of the main reasons for these non-communicable diseases. So I'll be talking about something, I want to talk about how you can practice healthy eating in your daily lifestyle with this corporate, working employees all around, and everybody has a very hectic lifestyle, how you can still make better choices and stay healthy.
Awesome, Dr. Surbhi. That's very interesting. Optimal eating for a healthy lifestyle. So that's an interesting topic because everyone needs it. It is the need of an hour, what she rightly said it. And we are here now for the discussion with her because obesity, weight management, lots of questions are there with me and lots of answers are there with her too. Because we also want to reduce weight. We also want the healthy diet. We also want optimal eating, what is all it about. So let's start the discussion with her. So there will be 3 rounds with her. So round 1, I'm going to start it with her. So let's start the question with the optimal eating. So I want to ask Dr. Surbhi that what does optimal eating mean? And why is it important for a healthy lifestyle?
Okay, so before I talk about what does optimal eating mean, let me first talk what is food and nutrition. So anything that you eat or drink is referred to as food. But when you eat the right kind of food with right kind of nutrients, like you fuel your body with the optimum nutrition to get the best out of your body, mind, impacts of stress and physical work that you do, and you're still able to carry it well. And the food that supplies with all this is referred to as nutrition. So when you understand what is what is nutrition and what is food, you'll be able to make right choices because you are understanding food in a little better way. All right. So optimum eating. So you want to know what is optimum eating all about. So eating a diet which is balanced diet and provides you with all the nutrients in the optimum quantity. Now, what are these nutrients? Nutrients can be divided into 2 categories, macro and micro. Macronutrients are the ones that are required in larger quantities, like your fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. And micronutrients, very, very important again for us, which are required in small quantities. These are vitamins and minerals, like vitamin A, vitamin D, B, C, K, and minerals n number, like calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, so many. So all these nutrients, when you get them in the optimum quantity with the right kind of food that you eat, that's what is referred to as optimum diet.
That's amazing. So, Dr. Surbhi, I want to ask with this, like how many calories per day should we take, being a female and a male?
I mean, it's very difficult to really pinpoint that how many calories a person, in general takes. But for a sedentary lifestyle, for females, there are a lot of factors for males and females. Again, the age, body structure, and ethnicity. But for Indians, generally around 1600 calories for a sedentary lifestyle for females, and around 1800 to 2000 calories for males with a sedentary lifestyle. Again, depends, some people, even, with a sedentary lifestyle, they do put an effort of spending few hours exercising every day. So it becomes like a moderate thing, but daily they are just kind of sitting and doing their work, but some additional extra workout they're doing, the calorie requirement can change. The calorie requirement can also change on basis of the disease or any underlying medical issue. So it varies on basis of your age, on basis of your lifestyle, and on basis of your, like your male or female.
That's great. Thank you so much for this. And my next question to you is, can you please explain the relationship between diet and overall health, and how do our food choices affect our well-being?
So relationship between diet and overall health, I think so. Broadly, everybody understand there is definitely a relationship, and a positive relationship. So what you fuel your body with is what your body will work on. So it is the choices that you make makes a lot of difference. The kind of food that you eat impacts your overall well-being, not only physical but even emotional and mental well-being. And there have been a number of studies to even support that emotional well-being is also related to food. So very important that we eat the right food. For example, if I talk about, general, let's talk about the if somebody is eating a diet which is very rich in saturated fats, trans fats, or sodium rich, then the chances of becoming hypertensive, this high blood pressure, is very high. So risk factor for heart disease increases. Similarly, if a diet is calorie rich, then chances of gaining weight and weight related issues is high. So again, a risk factor to develop lifestyle disorder increases. The kind of choice of food that you make, for example, if a diet is deficient in nutrients, for example, deficient in calcium and vitamin D, then the bone health gets impacted, and chances of becoming osteoporosis is high. That is weakening of the bones that can happen. For youngsters, especially the young ladies who are not following a very healthy lifestyle, chances of infertility is very high. So many n number of lifestyle diseases and other issues can be related to diet. Similarly, a diet which is very high in sugars and fats, it's considered a little inflammatory diet, and these inflammatory diets can have an impact on the emotional and mental well-being, and it has been well proven. So somebody asked me that what can I eat to to have a better sleep, to feel mentally better and healthier. It's a diet which is rich in fruits and vegetables and less in sugars and processed food. And because the inflammation is less, the body is more positive, the gut is taken care, so the immunity is better. So that's how the food choices impacts your health and well-being.
That's awesome. That's great. So, in a nutshell, you're talking about like diet and overall health. Of course, there is a positive relationship, and actually, we have to take care of overall health, because there's a fad in the mind that diet. We have to do diet, diet, diet. So that's something people have got that mental mindset also, in that sense. So, okay, my next question is, many people struggle with balancing their diets. And what are some practical tips for achieving a balanced and nutritional diet?
So now this is a complete topic in itself, actually, what can be done to follow a balanced diet. So I'll talk about explaining something very broadly we call in nutrition as food groups. So there are 5 food groups. Now these food groups have been divided on basis of the nutritive value they have. So broadly, there are 5 food groups, like proteins, which takes care of your pulses, legumes, and all the non-vegetarian food items. Then your grains, which is the staple food for us, vegetables, fruits, and milk products. So these are 5 food groups. Eating from each food group in the optimum quantity and the right kind of food from each food group is what is needed. So I'll pick up one food group at one time and explain you how much to eat to follow a healthy lifestyle. So let's talk about fruits and vegetables. On an average, around 2 to 3 fruits per day for a person and for an adult is required, which is not really practiced. Not most what I've come across in my practice, that when I ask patients how many fruits in a day do you have, uh, there are most of them will be eating one. So a little more, maybe 2 fruits is what can be practiced every day. Now, in what form of fruits to be eaten? So whole fruits is what is needed, not fruit juices. So fruit juices will be high in sugars, they will be lacking fiber. So whole fruits and variety of seasonal fruits, so that the it is locally available, it is more economical, and plus it will have less preservative because it is locally produced. So according to the season, the fruits keep changing, and according to the season, the color also of the fruits keep changing. So the more color, more antioxidants, more beneficial for our body is, and eat them raw, use them as snacks. They are a good substitute of sweets, so include them in your diet, at least 2 fruits. Now, when I say 2 fruits, it's also important to understand the serving size of a fruit. So a serving size is what is the term that we use in nutrition, is the portion that is recommended to eat. So one portion of fruit will be size of a closed fist. That is around 100 to 150 grams. So for example, one apple of this size is one fruit, one orange of this size is one fruit. But for fruits like watermelon or papaya, which are bigger, so how to have a portion? So approximately this size of a bowl, the size of your closed fist, that size of a bowl cut fruit is one fruit. So that's how you can keep a check. Similarly, for grapes and berries, a handful of them will be one portion of fruit. So in your daily practice of practicing healthy lifestyle and eating habits, understanding hand measurements is what is needed. You don't have to literally weigh your food. You have to have an idea about your hand measurements. So 100 grams is what I said. So around 2 fruits of this size of your closed fist is what is needed. Uh, then comes vegetables. Now, fruits are there, but vegetables are also equally important. In fact, they need to be eaten double the quantity of the fruit. So, what I've noticed that whenever I recommend my patients to increase their intake of fruits and vegetables, fruits is immediately increased, but the vegetable intake is always, it's always been on the lower side. So, increasing your vegetables is very, very important, and eating some raw vegetables is very important. Now, the question comes when you eat raw vegetables, a lot of people also are reluctant that they are loaded with pesticides, so we like to cook them. Yes, if you're eating out, be careful that you're eating, at a decent place when you're eating raw vegetables. At home, you can reduce the pesticide content and the contamination by washing them well. You can add them to a little vinegar and some soda. Meetha soda is what, the baking powder that we say at home. So that can be added. Dip them in that water for say 10 minutes, and then just run them with running water. Wash them well with running water so they are clean. Store them in your refrigerator and then use them. How to include them? 4 servings of vegetables need to be included every day. So 4 servings means 2 katori cooked vegetables. The katori is a bowl size or a cup size. So 2 bowls of cooked vegetables and 2 bowls of raw vegetables. So raw vegetables doesn't mean literally eating salad. It can be added to your sandwiches. You can make smoothies out of them. Add it to your dahi to make raita, or just stuff it in your chapati. So in Indian cooking, what is eaten? Dal, roti, sabzi. So chapati can be, stuffed with vegetable to increase the vegetable intake. Vegetable soups can be included, sorted vegetables, or the regular sabzi quantity can be increased provided it is not loaded with oil. So just keep a check on that. All right, so 4 servings of vegetables. Now, again, serving size to your hand measurements. So size of your closed fist is 1 cup. So such 4 cups should be eaten. Now, if you're eating a gravy vegetable, so obviously the gravy is more than the vegetable quantity is less. So a little more of the quantity, the gravy vegetable, depending how thick the gravy is. And if it's a raw vegetable and which is leafy, the quantity obviously needs to be double. So 2 cups of raw vegetables will be 1 serving. So keep a check on the quantity. So 4 servings of vegetables need to be included every day. They can be more also, but try not to eat less than this. Now, why fruits and vegetables are important? Because they are loaded with fiber, they are loaded with antioxidants, and they are very important for people having high blood pressure because it's a part of the DASH diet, which helps in reducing blood pressure naturally because they are loaded with potassium, magnesium, fiber, which helps in reducing the blood pressure naturally. So we've covered two food groups. Then comes the third food group, which is milk and milk products. So milk and milk products, at least 2 servings of milk, but milk has to be low fat. Remember, from milk, you make butter or clarified butter. So it is loaded with that cream. So that is, cream is a source of trans fat, saturated fats, which will increase your cholesterol. So remove that and then use the milk. The milk has to be toned or low fat, or remove cream, visible cream from full cream milk. And 1 glass of milk is 1 serving, so 2 servings. Now you're not having milk all the time, you can have paneer, you can have dahi. So 1 bowl of dahi is 1 serving, 30 grams of paneer is 1 serving, so variety can be included. Similarly for grains, so at least try to have more of whole grains. At least 50% of your grain should be whole, so which is not being polished. For example, whole a whole wheat flour, which is not like a maida, which has got some fiber part in it. Millets are also part of whole grains, so they can also be included in the diet. And then comes the last, which is pulses and legumes. Now this is protein. Now protein is a very, very important thing. In Indians, it has been seen that the protein quantity is very less than what is required. And conscious approach needs to be done to do meal planning and include a protein source in each meal. जैसे ब्रेकफास्ट में स्प्राउट्स इंक्लूड करे जा सकते हैं, and in lunch you can have dal, and for dinner probably paneer can be done. Egg whites can be eaten if you are a non-vegetarian. Chicken can be included. अब now chicken, मुगलई chicken रोज नहीं खा के कभी खा सकते हैं, बाकी then chicken can be included in different forms where too much of oil is not needed to cook it. So such things can be followed by eating a balanced diet from all food groups. Optimal eating can be easily achieved.
That's very useful.
I mean, it was
Very good,
elaborate
yes.
and very descriptive. If there are questions, I'll be able to take questions maybe
We'll
now or
take
later.
your questions in the end.
Sure.
Before that, what we talked about right now, and I want to ask one question from this. So, like, let's suppose we do every week, like every Monday to Saturday, we follow the whole lifestyle and the whole lifestyle modification of diet. And Sunday, people do binge eating. Yeah. Is it okay to do that? Or
I mean, cheat days are absolutely fine. You are not. I mean, food is also a source of some sort of, or sort of entertainment or some emotional happiness that is given through food. So we do not say that do not eat at all unhealthy food, but yes, keep a check on the portions and be mindful when you eat some unhealthy foods also. I mean, mindlessly ऐसा नहीं हो कि पूरे हफ्ते तो बहुत अच्छा खाया and weekend पे पूरे हफ्ते का साथ में ले लिया. And that, believe me, that happens with a lot of patients when it comes to alcohol.
Okay.
Okay, so it is a very common thing when you ask the patient or people that I do not take alcohol every day, but over a weekend probably I do binge drinking. So we all understand when a binge drinking happens, it's difficult for the body to handle so much of alcohol at one time. Similarly, if you follow a good lifestyle of eating balanced diet the entire week and binge eat everything for the week on a weekend, I mean, not the right way. Some check on the portions need to be done, and otherwise you can please treat yourself absolutely fine.
Perfect. That's amazing. So my next question, Dr. Surbhi, is how can people address emotional eating and develop a healthier relationship with food?
So very important that food is something that needs to be enjoyed. Okay, you don't have to be scared of food, but don't relate food with everything. I mean, with sadness, food should not be there. With happiness, it should not be like related to your emotions, that if you're sad, then you binge eat. If you're happy, you binge eat. You're socializing, you binge eat. So you have to develop a healthier relationship by understanding that food is there not to compensate for something else. Okay, you have to ensure that first of all, you need to understand that what triggers you to do emotional eating. Is it the mood swings that is making you do? What is the core reason for that? work on those reasons. Trigger factors need to be avoided. Presence of unhealthy foods around you is also one of the trigger factors for emotional eating. So emotions will happen during the day, I mean, or at evening when you've gone back from work, and some emotions you carry from work also. So that's very natural. So if presence of unhealthy foods around you makes you do binge eat or emotional eating, then ensure that you do not have those unhealthy foods around you all the time. Another way is that have a discuss with maybe your partner or your friends that you're going through an emotional distress where you do a lot of emotional eating. So confess and discuss so that you find solutions. Divert your mind when you're having those emotional bursts, when you're eating unhealthy. Maybe go for a walk, chat with a friend, start reading something, so something interesting. So divert your mind. That is also a very important way of doing. And ultimately, if nothing works, then please take professional help.
Dr. Surbhi is there for the professional help. Amazing. So, Dr. Surbhi, so what are the potential risks or consequences of extreme dieting or fad diets? And how can people avoid these pitfalls?
Okay, so fad diets is something, first of all, what are fad diets? We need to understand. So anything that is just being, you just read, there's Google doctor around, and, people find something extreme on, on their, their social media or somewhere, and they start following point blank. That needs to be discouraged. It's not the right way. Get yourself assessed, because before going on any extreme diet, you need to be physically fit also, with whether it's really required. So we've seen people who are already on a leaner side still trying to lose more weight and following some extreme diets. It leads to malnutrition, nutrition deficiencies. It needs to insulin resistance. Sometimes we've seen that they followed some fad diet where they've eaten for example, I'll give you a diet like a fruit, they do juicing. They just keep drinking fruit juices for weeks. I mean, it's a liquid diet, but you're just taking sugars without fiber. Not a very good idea. It can lead to insulin resistance also. So it's not really required. A balanced diet is needed, because on any extreme diet, some or the other major food group has been it's like either asked to leave carbohydrate, just focus on protein and fats, or leave one particular food group and just focus on one. It will lead to deficiencies of nutrients. You'll have an imbalance in your body. It can lead to slow metabolism also. So need to be done. Fat diets need not be followed. A balanced calorie deficit diet is needed. So you can have a 500 calorie or a 750 calorie deficit, or there are now different more research is being done where intermittent fasting is also becoming popular. That can also be followed under proper guidance. But intermittent fasting with ketogenic diet, these are like extreme forms, not really needed. So it is basically a discipline that needs to be followed. You have to eat food to nourish your body. You don't need to undernourish, you don't need to overnourish. But yes, weight is becoming a problem, so everybody is struggling to lose weight. So core problems need to be addressed. Is it eating too much of unplanned meals that is leading to weight gain? Is it a lack of physical activity? Or like you had just mentioned, some emotional eating that is leading to weight gain? So those need to be identified. There can be some medical underlying issues also, like hypothyroidism or some other medical problem that can lead to weight gain. Perimenopausal women find it difficult to lose weight, and they gain weight very easily. So is postmenopausal. So there can be some underlying medical reason also. So that needs to be identified and addressed accordingly. So fad diets, not recommended, because they will lead to deficiencies, imbalances, and they will make you emotionally more uncomfortable, because you'll be on an extreme diet where you'll be eliminating food groups. So not really recommended.
That's very important, because a lot of people follow from Google that, intermittent fasting and then keto diets and 7 days diet plan, and they keep on just doing it. And testing it on themselves. So I think this is something very, very informational that we need to follow it accordingly, according to our body. Our body responds accordingly, and we need to listen to our body.
Very important to understand. No one diet fits for all. Every
Exactly.
individual is different. Every person needs a diet that fits their mental and physical state. So
That's
very
true.
important to understand the lifestyle. That's why when we do diet, we call it diet counseling. We do not say diet chart. Diet charts are n number available everywhere. It's the diet counseling that makes a difference, where we prepare you and prepare the patient or the person going through a modification in the diet in such a way that the adaptations can be done easily.
Yeah. I believe that lifestyle modification, what we say dieting is something related. If we talk about lifestyle modification, because lifestyle modification, mental health and physical health comes out. So we should use that word, not dieting. It should be a lifestyle modification for everyone.
Absolutely correct. And weight, it is weight modification. It is not weight loss
Yeah.
or obesity. Those extreme words
Yeah.
need not be there. Weight correction, we can say. We can say weight management. That's what is needed. I mean, maybe a person. There's no, like as I said, that there's no one approach to everyone. So maybe a person on a 25 BMI feels has underlying health related issues which are related to lifestyle and needs to lose a little more weight to feel healthier. But maybe a person with a life 25 BMI feels absolutely fit. So it's the person to person it varies, because the lean body weight, the muscle weight, that also the composition of the body is different for everyone.
That's great. So, Surbhi, so how can people maintain motivation and consistency when adopting health and eating habits in the long term?
Okay. So, first of all, we need to understand why we've been discussing why, healthy lifestyle and eating habits are needed. So remind yourself continuously about that what is the purpose of eating healthy? Is it just because everybody around you is doing that? Or is it really that you feel it from inside? So it's important to prevent chronic diseases, lifestyle diseases. See, ultimately, the whole idea is to have better quality of life and longevity. That is what is needed. So whatever life you have a healthier lifestyle with life without any medical problems. And non-communicable diseases can be easily prevented by following a good lifestyle. It can be followed easily uh, uh, by having realistic goals. Set realistic goals for yourself. I mean, if you are on your ideal body weight, then what is it you still feel overweight, or you feel that you're not in the right your weight needs a little more modification, take a consultation, understand the composition of the body. Is it the fat percentage which is high and the muscle mass which is low, which is the most common problem? Then maybe some exercise need to be introduced so that some muscle strength can be can come back. And foods that are contributing to increase in fat percentage can be restricted. We do not say eliminate, we only say restriction of a food that is not too good for your body. So not that person who is trying to follow a healthy diet needs to be off sugars completely. They need to just restrict. Nobody needs to be on a boiled food to follow a healthy eating habits. Eating food which is cooked every day with the right oil quantity is what is needed. Now, what is the right quantity? Let me just explain that also. So on an average, a person needs not more than half a liter of fat per person per month. That is around 3 to 4 teaspoons in a day. Now, let me explain you also the teaspoon size. I'll come back to what I was talking about, hand measurements. Our hand is a measurement, okay? So the thumb that you see, the first line of the thumb that you see over here, the first line, that size of a spoon is 1 teaspoon, which is 5 ml. So 3 to 4 teaspoons of oil is needed. Now the next question whenever I talk about oil is desi ghee use kare ya refined use kare ya mustard oil use kare ya olive oil use kare. Believe me, all oils are fats. So these are made of different types of fats. Depending on the composition of the fat, the oil is defined. Okay. Now, कोई भी एक oil लंबे time के लिए use ना करें. Keep changing the type of oil. The method of cooking is also very important. Not that you cannot have desi ghee. Of course, you can have. If it's around 3 teaspoons in a day, 1 teaspoon can be your desi ghee. Rest can come from vegetable oil. Try and avoid, please do not use dalda or, the hydrogenated fat in your diet. They say, for example, palm oil is also used. So these things need to be restricted. Now, vegetable oil ki choices can change. You can use maybe olive oil. It can be canola, rice bran, soya bean, mustard, groundnut. So combination. So one oil, maybe you've bought it one and it lasts for 3 months. Next time when you buy another one. That's the way to follow it. And for a family of 4 members, around 2 liters of oil should be consumed. जिसमें से आधा लीटर देसी घी हो सकता है, rest can come from vegetable oil.
Wow.
So that's the tip that I'm giving to, to make your everyday cooking healthy. So what has been seen that in most of the Indian households where people are trying to follow, avoiding fried food and not cooking too much of parathas and puris at home, still the oil consumption is on the higher side. So the question comes, where is this oil going? It is going in your sabzi. So sabzi, that vegetable that you're supposed to eat in large quantity, I just mentioned, and if it's loaded with oil, it becomes a source of calories also. So keep a check on that so that it's not contributing that invisible form that you're feeling that I'm not eating a chapati, I'm only surviving on sabzi, still I'm not losing weight. Probably that can be one of the reasons that the sabzi is loaded with too much of fat. And you don't have to eliminate any food group as such. So you can include, but the right form. I mean, for example, chapati can be included in the right portions.
That's great. So मुझे लगता है कि अब से क्वांटिटी का पता चलने के बाद what I feel and what I can कि टेस्ट के लिए खाली फूड मत खाइए, हेल्थ के लिए फूड खाइए, because
But
health is very
taste
important.
can still come with the food that you cook with less oil also.
टेस्ट में फिर तड़के ज्यादा लगते हैं.
So tadka doesn't need oil only, it needs masalas. So spices, you have a free hand, please use spices, use more garlic, more, your other herbs that can be added because they are taste enhancers. So no compromise on taste as such, only compromise on too much of fat. So वो जो layer of oil जो ऊपर आती है वो कम कर लो. ठीक है ना. दूसरा एक टिप और देना चाहेंगे कि खाने में ना प्रोटीन को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करो पूरे दिन में. सो हर मील में प्रोटीन करें. तो जैसे मैंने बताया था कि आप लंच में दाल ले लें. सो लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स द प्रैक्टिकल इशू दैट कम्स दैट पीपल कैरी ड्राई vegetable and chapati for work. They do not like to carry a curry vegetable. So the dal can be kneaded in the atta. So it's like, the chapati has been made with dal ke atta. So that is another way of having. Sattu can also be included. So these are simple tips that I'm giving that, eating from your daily eating, how you can include consciously in the right way in your, diet, a diet that is balanced with all nutrients.
ग्रेट. अगर आपके घर में कोई वेजिटेबल्स नहीं खाता तो प्लीज चपाती में डाल के दीजिए और मिक्स करके उसको बॉईल करके आटे में गूंथ
दाल में डाल दीजिए, चपाती में डाल दीजिए. और बहुत तरीके हैं आजकल तो. देयर आर, इफ यू वांट टू सी रेसिपीज, दे आर लोडेड. आई मीन so many different ways that vegetables can be included.
That's right. So my second round for the corporate professionals. So because आजकल कॉर्पोरेट्स में टाइमिंग्स एंड हेल्थ को रह के स्ट्रेस लेके बहुत कुछ खाते हैं, बहुत कुछ बिंजिंग करते हैं. सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट दिस. So how can corporate professionals make better food choices when dining at restaurants and or ordering or take out during work hours?
I mean, ordering from restaurants at home and eating
in the office.
In the office.
Yes, in the office and बाहर से जो टेक अवेज आ रहे होते हैं उनको ऑर्डर करके यहाँ खा रहे होते हैं. So how can they make healthy choices? And उस टाइम पे Zomato and Swiggy open होता है and बिरयानी दिख रही है या whatever tempting सा दिख रहा है. What do they think about and how to change their thought process कि स्ट्रेस लेवल हाई है तो फूड भी गलत ऑर्डर हो रहा है उस टाइम पे.
सही बात है. फूड becomes the second, I mean, it's not on the priority list when it comes to planning.
Correct.
It is the last minute planning की भूख लग रही है क्या ऑर्डर करें. that is what happens. So इसको कैसे address करें? एक तो सबसे पहले कि why you have to order, why you cannot carry it from home, that is very important. We have been, you know, n number of times we've been telling try to have home cooked meals. अभी हमने बताया, I just mentioned that कितना तेल इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए. Now example that you're eating out of 30 days 15 meals or maybe 26 days working रहता है, 26 meals या 20 meals outside खाए, तब भी oil consumption उतना रहा, तो बाहर वाले oil का कहाँ गया count?
जो सिंगल्स हैं,
हाँ,
पीजीज
okay.
वाले हैं,
So
और
there are
वो क्या
lot of cloud kitchens available which do home type of cooking that can be done. Plus snacks को plan करना जरूरी है. Main meals can still be managed by not ordering those, you know, those biryanis and heavy gravies. Maybe normal dal, roti, sabzi can be ordered, and those cloud kitchens are giving food which is just like cooked at home, which is not loaded with too much of fat. प्लस स्नैक्स का गड़बड़ ज्यादा होता है जो अकेले रह रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनकी स्नैक्स प्लान नहीं होते. सो स्नैक्स को थोड़ा प्लान कर लें, बिकॉज मैक्सिमम डिविएशन हैपेंस नॉट इन मेन मील्स बट इन बिटवीन मील्स. सो फ्रूट्स इज अ वेरी गुड सब्स्टिट्यूट एज स्नैक्स. भुना चना, murmura, makhane, these are all there, so they can be included. Idli, which is steamed, can be eaten. Kala chana chaat can be eaten, and it can be ordered from Zomato. Believe me, I've ordered it. It's very nice. There are places which are giving very nice kala chana chaat.
Okay.
Sprouts salad can be eaten. Once in a while, unhealthy food can also be eaten, but not every day a packet of chips, because कहीं ना कहीं तो impact body को करेगा ही ना. अभी नहीं करा, अभी young हो, after some time you'll just suddenly realize that your blood pressure is on the higher side because you've always loaded yourself with too much of sodium. So such things can be practiced. Handful of nuts can be eaten. In fact, I was just looking at the things around, and you have already kept it, Ritu. We already have roasted chana available here. These are your avla, I think. So that's the avla, that can be eaten. It's a best source of vitamin C. And vitamin C is very important for your immunity, and also very important for iron absorption. So those of you who have iron deficiency anemia, vitamin C is very important, and amla is one of the best sources of it. Then nuts, a handful of mixed nuts, and believe me, cashews भी खा जा सकते हैं, इनसे कोलेस्ट्रॉल नहीं बढ़ता. जब तक फ्राई नहीं करते देसी घी में, तब तक कोलेस्ट्रॉल नहीं होता है इनमें. So they can be eaten. And dates, whenever you have those sugar cravings, they can be eaten.
Okay.
Other than this, मटर कुलचा वाला जो मटर आता है, not the kulcha, but the matar is very healthy. That can also be eaten. Okay. So many food items, if you start seeing, you'll be able to see that there are lots. And those of you eat non-veg, maybe, an egg omelette can be eaten, or boiled egg can be eaten. Some protein will go. So जब प्रोटीन बीच में खाते हैं and fruits खाते हैं, so आपकी sugar craving थोड़ी कम हो जाती है, because प्रोटीन भी sugar craving में कम करता है. Smoothies can be you can drink smoothies which are not loaded with sugars, without sugar, because fruit का अपने आप में sugar होता है, so you don't need to add sugar. So added sugar के बिना they can also be.
That's great. So Surbhi, like I see that professionals like these corporates people are coming from far side, 2 hours of traveling, commuting, and in between that, when they feel hungry, what should they eat while traveling, and while going back as well, because that's a very important time, and suddenly when they reach home and they feel so hungry and they eat like anything.
हाँ, देखो ये natural है कि lunch सबका around 1 to 2 के बीच में हो जाता है, and the dinner time is around 9, because by the time people who are traveling from far away they reach home, so there's a long gap. Now in between क्या रहा कि you keep postponing your hunger कि घर जाके कुछ खाएंगे, बीच में बस चाय and biscuits ले लिए. Biscuits will not make you feel satiated. You'll not feel, your hunger will not subside for a long time with that. You will feel hungry very soon. So it's important that, as I just mentioned, plan your snacks. जब आप long travel कर रहे हैं तो जाने से पहले कुछ एक अच्छा snack, जैसे lunch में चपाती लेकर आए हैं अगर, तो एक चपाती extra ले आइए. Maybe a roll of chapati can be had with a cup of tea in the evening. Fruit रास्ते में travel करते समय खा सकते हैं. Nuts, They are not very, I mean, they don't need too much of space. They can be easily accommodated. A handful of them can be eaten. So such things can be easily followed, what I just mentioned. So एक तो ऑफिस से निकलने से पहले और घर तक पहुंचने में अगर डिस्टेंस बहुत लंबा है and the travel time is a lot, then please eat something and go. By the time you reach home, try to have your dinner. First thing should be have your dinner rather than have tea and snacks and then delay your dinner further. अगर आप 7 साढ़े 7 बजे भी घर पहुंच रहे हैं, so it's, you know, hungry, have your dinner. If possible, please have your full meal, your chapati, dal, sabzi, so you will feel full. रात में अगर भूख लगती है, then probably you can have your fruit. So those thick tips can be followed depending on your travel time and your working hours. Meal timings can be adjusted and snack times can be adjusted accordingly.
Great. So, what should be the ideal time of having food? From morning to night, ideal time.
So ideally, breakfast should be eaten within 1 to 2 hours of waking up,
okay.
which is not really followed in India because 6 बजे उठते हैं, breakfast होता है 9 बजे,
Correct.
and housewives का 11 बजे. So जो भी यहाँ पे लोग हैं उनके घर में जो भी घर मैनेज कर रहे हैं उनका 11 साढ़े 11 बजे होता है. So that needs to be addressed. Okay, for a daily eating, optimal eating में अगर हम बात करें तो early timely breakfast should be done, and a breakfast can be अगर prepare elaborate करना मुश्किल है तो simple breakfast में भी चपाती can be eaten, मिस्सी रोटी खा ली है सब्जी के साथ, रात की सब्जी है उसके साथ भी खा सकते हैं, oats ले सकते हैं. Oats में soluble fiber होता है, and studies have shown that soluble fiber LDL cholesterol, which is bad cholesterol, को कम करने में help करता है. So oats become a superfood. We were talking about superfood, so it becomes a superfood for that reason. So oats can be included. Those of you who do not like to eat oats porridge as such, it can be included in different forms. इडली भी बन सकती हैं, उसका pancake type, चीला type बन सकता है. So a lot of things can be done out of that, and even upma can be made from oats. So breakfast का time उठने के 1 से 1.5 घंटे के बाद, in between a light snack if possible, or a cup of tea with some on the go kind of a snack, like maybe just a handful of nuts can be eaten. Then lunch आपका 1 से 2 के बीच में हो जाना चाहिए. Dinner time should be around 8 o'clock. Latest by 8. आप lifestyle में अगर possible नहीं है, so then latest by 9. So that is the way. And in between again, शाम को 4-5 बजे a snack, depending on your meeting timings and your travel timings, it can be adjusted.
Great. So Dr. Surbhi, I'm seeing some plate is there, and what is all about? And
Yeah,
please
so
explain.
this plate is something that I was talking about, that how you can practice healthy eating in your daily lifestyle, and you don't need only for Indian cooking. This can be for any type of cuisine that you're eating. Even while eating out, you can follow this. कि आपकी plate जो है, a half plate should be filled with vegetables. If you see this plate, half the plate is filled with vegetables. So a bowl of sabzi, a bowl of salad will take care of that. A source of protein in each meal. So protein can be dal, it can be paneer, it can be tofu, it can be rajma, lobia, chana, even your chicken, fish, or even egg. That can be part of your protein. And some whole grains. So anaj, like carbohydrates, need to be added there. So this is how your plate should be. So it can be, any cuisine. So for example, if you're eating a continental meal, so, good serving of sauteed vegetables, some grilled chicken or fish, or maybe tofu, and maybe a boiled potato or a sweet potato or some rice, or bread can be on the side. Now, why I said potato in place of cereals? Because जब हम food groups divide करते हैं, so potato जो है उसका nutritive value एक अनाज के जैसे ज़्यादा है. It's more like a grain. That's why in food groups, potato does not come under vegetables, it comes under grains. So if you're eating आलू की सब्जी with chapati, तो actually आप एक ही food group का खाना खा रहे हो. So mix it with something like matar can be added, or you can add palak with it. So any vegetable along with that. So that's what needs to be followed. I mean, it's not too much of it if you look at it. It sounds too much when we discuss, but अगर आप practically अपनी daily उसमें देखोगे तो कुछ नहीं करना, बस ध्यान रखना है कि सब्जी थोड़ी ज़्यादा खानी है और तेल थोड़ा कम इस्तेमाल करना है और मीठा थोड़ा sparingly यूज करना है.
मीठे में specifically आप थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कीजिए कि मीठा हम लोगों को बहुत पसंद आता है कि क्या खाया जाए मीठा.
So meetha is an addiction actually.
Yeah.
Sugar is an addiction. So more you eat, more addicted.
That's true.
The scientific reason is that when you eat sugar, it converts into blood glucose very soon.
Yeah.
And immediately comes in your blood as a blood glucose and आपकी body को immediately energy मिलती है. So बहुत कम मेहनत के साथ body को energy मिल जाती है तो brain को message जाता है this is a good thing, it gives energy with less work, so eat more. So you eat more and more and more. It's like a craving that keeps happening. So you have to have a discipline. You have to be strict with yourself. So to maintain weight or to follow healthy lifestyle, you have to be a little firm with yourself in that transition. So once you get habitual to it, then you will wonder that why I was eating so much of sugar. दूसरा रीजन होता है कई बार शुगर क्रेविंग्स इसलिए भी होती हैं कि आपका मील बैलेंस नहीं था. आपने लंच में चपाती खाई नहीं, बस सब्जी और सैलड खाया और फिर शाम को लगी भूख एंड देन यू हैव अ पैकेट ऑफ बिस्किट्स व्हिच इज एक्चुअली शुगर. ठीक है. सो not having carbohydrates, which is anaj or grains in your main meals, can also make you crave for sugars. Another reason can be that your gut bacteria is not in the right state. So you need to eat more probiotics. So probiotics अपनी diet में जब डालेंगे तो थोड़ी sugar cravings कम होंगी. And the last reason can be diet lacking in protein. So protein भी distribute अगर हम ठीक से करेंगे, अच्छा protein rich देंगे, so आपकी sugar craving होगी. And I'll give you a simple tip. Those who have sugar cravings, अपनी एक meal में protein rich meal खाइएगा. जैसे आपने ग्रिल पनीर खा लिया, ग्रिल चिकन खा लिया, या फिर चना खा लिया, चने की चाट खा ली, एंड देन आप देखेंगे कि शुगर क्रेविंग उस दिन आपकी कम होती है. एंड बिलीव मी, इट आई हैव फॉलोड इट माई सेल्फ एंड इट रियली डज वर्क.
Oh wow, that's we'll follow it, of course. So, अगर शुगर का सब्स्टिट्यूट मैं आपसे पूछूं, सपोज ठीक है, डायरेक्ट मिठाई आइसक्रीम ये नहीं खानी, so what should I eat?
Fruit, dry fruits, your dates are here, your figs are there, अंजीर है, dates हैं, fruits हैं, इनसे भी शुगर क्रेविंग कम हो जाएगी. शुगर तो इनमें भी है. ठीक है. सो आपको कम हो सकती है. थोड़ा शुगर पे ये भी ध्यान रखना कि जैसे मैंने बताया आपको कि अगर आप खाना खाने बैठते हैं, डेजर्ट इज देयर एंड यू वेरी हंग्री एंड यू स्टार्ट विद डेजर्ट, यू विल फील लाइक ईटिंग अ लिटिल मोर. बट इफ यू हैव इट आफ्टर अ फुल मील, आप यू विल बी एबल टू कंट्रोल द पोर्शन ऑफ योर शुगर. So डेजर्ट कम हो सकती है उस हिसाब से.
That's great. So round 3, rapid
All
fire.
right.
All
Okay.
set? Yeah. All right. So what's your go-to healthy breakfast?
My healthy breakfast can be oats chila, it can be besan chila. I try to have a protein-rich breakfast. Or on weekends, it's a little deviation. But the breakfast is decided by my husband what he's craving for. It can be a paratha also. It can be a pakoda also. So it's like the entire week I try to eat a balanced a breakfast which is protein rich because it gives me more energy for the day and I don't feel sleepy after it.
Great. Next question. Is it better to eat 3 large meals a day or multiple small meals and snacks?
See, 2 to 3 meals can be easily taken per day and it is recommended. Snacks, depending on the cravings. As I mentioned, sometimes not eating a snack in between meals really increases the appetite. So पता चलता है कि आपने चाहे एक रोटी खानी थी, अब 3 खा रहे हो, खाने के बाद भी भूख लग रही है क्योंकि कुछ खाया नहीं बहुत देर तक. So snack भी खाना चाहिए. Very important to eat a snack in between meals, and 2 to 3 main meals recommended.
Awesome. So what's your favorite source of plant-based protein?
Plant-based protein, it is these soy chunks. So I have been using them very regularly. Plus all the pulses and legumes like beans की चाट ये 3 beans का एक salad हमारे यहाँ बहुत बनता है. We have a 3 bean salad जिसमें राजमा भी होता है, लोबिया भी होता है, and चना भी होता है. It's a very common thing. Another thing can be hummus with vegetables. It's also a good source of protein.
Wow. So name one superfood you would reconnect for overall health.
I cannot really reconnect with one food. It is a variety of foods. But for me, vegetables are very important because they really add, they give me a satiating feeling and they add a lot of nutrition to me in form of antioxidants and a lot of other micronutrients.
Which oil you use?
As I mentioned, we keep changing. I think so. आजकल हमारे यहाँ groundnut चल रहा है, and olive oil I use for salad dressings and all.
Okay.
So because the smoke point of the oil decides. अगर आप high flame cooking कर रहे हैं, तो it's important कि आप ऐसा oil use करें जिसका थोड़ा refined हो, जिसका smoke point थोड़ा high हो, so that it doesn't when you heat oil, थोड़े time बाद वो black turn कर जाता है, धुआं निकलने लगता है. That means the smoke point has been achieved. So olive oil has a low smoke point, so good for sauteing and salads. And otherwise, I keep changing the oil.
That's cool. So is it okay to indulge occasional cheat meals, what we discussed?
Of course, why not? It's important
So
to treat
once
yourself.
a week it is okay.
Yes, absolutely okay.
So guys, you should follow it. आप हफ्ता भर बहुत अच्छे से अच्छी डाइट फॉलो कीजिए. संडे वाले दिन you can do cheat meals.
Why only on a Sunday? They can cheat meal on a Saturday and probably have a better food choice on a Sunday because पूरे दिन घर पर है.
Correct.
So that is in a corporate world, 5 days is very busy. Saturday everybody parties, and Sunday थोड़ा discipline आना शुरू हो जाता है because Monday blues start.
That's true. So what's your favorite healthy dessert?
Healthy dessert. I mean, I'm very fond of desserts, but if I really crave, then I have very small portions of a chocolate. I'm very fond of chocolates.
Okay.
So dark chocolate is what I try to eat, but though I'm fond of the regular ones also. So a small portion of a chocolate really takes care of my cravings, but it also adds on some good nutrition to me, and it can be with nuts also. So all the more better.
That's cool. So how can someone curb sugar craving? We discussed about it, basically.
Sugar craving, we've had a lot of discussions today. I think so.
We have done it. So what's your stance on intermittent fasting?
I mean, it's something that is some research has happened on it, and intermittent fasting ka purpose ye hai ki most of the people these days are following intermittent to lose weight. With a busy lifestyle where it becomes very difficult to make some different food for yourself, or the family is eating a certain type of foods and you have to eat something else, becomes very difficult, then intermittent fasting plays a very good role, because it is not about controlling your meals. Each meal you have to plan just 2 meals, so it's a eating the eating pattern has been changed in that, and I do recommend. It is a good thing, but again, very important, should not be followed for youngsters. Anyone below 18, it should not be followed. Pregnant women needs to be very careful not to be followed. People with hyperacidity and migraine need to be very careful not to start intermittent fasting, because it can actually trigger migraine and hyperacidity. So and even diabetics on certain medication need to be careful. Otherwise, yes, it can be followed probably, but the timings need to be planned again. So probably your breakfast at 9, and your last meal you can have 8 to 16. There are different forms of it, like 8 to 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. Then the other is 5:2, which is again a very popular way for especially those people who have a very socially very active lifestyle. So they cannot have a eating window. So what they do, they follow, they try to, maybe a dinner can be a little late also in the evening, but 2 days in a week, like out of 5 days, they've done that. 2 days in a week, they are very disciplined. You can just have 500 to 600 calories, or probably eat a little, less calorie dense food, and eat more, low calorie foods on those days. So that is another form of intermittent fasting. Dry fasting and extreme fasting is not recommended. So somebody who's doing 24 eat and 24 hours fasting, eat and stop eating, not recommended. Then there is another form of fasting that is being followed, is dry fasting, where no water is also consumed. That's very dangerous, should not be followed. So right form of intermittent for the right kind of person, it's okay, can be followed for maybe 3 to 6 months, but cannot be followed forever.
So sea salt is healthier than regular salt. Is it a myth or a fact?
Salt is salt, whether sea salt or a regular packaged salt. So somebody who's on a restriction of salt need to be careful. So sometimes the doctors ask the patients to restrict their salt intake if they are high blood pressure, cardiac disease or kidney disease, or maybe for some other reason. So what they do कि हमने मैम normal salt बंद कर दिया, अब बस हम rock salt use करते हैं, we use pink salt. So what happens when you're replacing, you're actually compromising on iodine also, because जो आपका packaged salt है वो iodized salt है, and iodine deficiency से thyroid issues हो सकते हैं. So not really recommended to replace the packaged salt completely with rock salt. It can be a combination, and remember even rock salt has sodium and the other salt also has sodium. So ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने replace कर दिया और उसको ही ज़्यादा खाते रहे, नहीं. So total salt intake needs to be reduced, and do not use rock salt as a substitute for regular salt. It can be, they can both be consumed together in small portions, which is 1 teaspoon generally, not more than that, of salt should be consumed in a day.
Very important, actually. So brown bread is always healthy. Is it a myth or a fact?
So the brown color of the bread does not really decide that it is healthy. It can be just a color. It can be just caramelization. आपको अगर ब्रेड की क्वांटिटी देखनी है कि व्हाट इज द पर्पस ऑफ ईटिंग अ ब्राउन ब्रेड, कि हम मैदा कम खाएं एंड होल ग्रेन ज्यादा खाएं, दैट्स द पर्पस. सो आप उसका कभी लेबल रीड करने की कोशिश करना, एंड द फूड आइटम दैट इज मेंशन द फर्स्ट, दैट मीन्स that is the maximum quantity. So the brown color can be because of just color. It can be just because 10% of whole wheat has been added and 90% maida is there. So it is an absolute myth कि हम brown bread use करें सोच के कि ये तो healthy है. It can be better off sometimes from the regular bread, but it is not the healthy option. If you really want to do, then read the label. It should be 100% whole wheat, or a millet bread can also be used. So आजकल some bakeries are making these kind of whole wheat breads, and जब उनका texture देखते हैं उसी से पता चल जाता है कि वो whole wheat है या नहीं है. So it's a myth.
I can say that now people who are watching now and seeing, they have, the mindset has been changed. Yeah. So now we are open for the Q&A, as I already discussed. So we are open for the Q&A. Please stand up and ask the questions. We have 5 more minutes. Any questions, please? Somebody can raise their hand. Yeah, please.
So PCOS is more of a vicious cycle, and it is seen in a lot of young girls these days, where there is some form of insulin resistance that makes a person gain weight. And because of weight gain, PCOS happens. Insulin resistance increases. It's a vicious cycle. So to break this, you have to put a little more effort than a normal person who's trying to, lose some weight, because the hormones are not really supporting much. So more exercise, a diet which is low in sugar and refined carbohydrates. So thoda whole grains use karna hai. ठीक है, meal planning थोड़ा करना है. Intermittent fasting can also be considered if there's no underlying other issue. And with your hectic lifestyle, you have to still ensure that you are physically very active. Maybe metro use कर लें अगर travel में possible है तो, because उसमें भी बहुत चलना होता है. Try to use stairs. Stay active. That is what is needed. So this PCOS can be easily managed with lifestyle and eating habits.
And how much exercise plays an important role in this?
Exercise really plays an important role. On an average, the American Heart Association says around 30 minutes of exercise 5 times a week. That is 150 minutes in a week. But for Indians, it is a little more. We need around 45 to 60 minutes of exercise per day, because our lean body weight is less. हमारा muscle mass कम होता है, हमें थोड़ी ज़्यादा exercise करनी पड़ती है वो effect लाने के लिए. And you should try to exercise at least 6 days a week. So different forms of exercise. Exercise doesn't mean that you really need to go to a gym and work out, do a heavy workout there. आप अपने daily life में एक exercise regime बना सकते हैं. देखो busy सब हैं, लेकिन effort लगाना पड़ता है अगर आपको अपना lifestyle अच्छा रखना है. You spend hours socializing. Why not spend 1 hour exercising? So that's what is needed. आप रूम में एक्सरसाइज कर सकते हैं. There are extreme temperatures होते हैं यहाँ पे. So जब बहुत गर्मी है, बाहर जाना मुश्किल है, maybe dancing is form of exercise. You can do yoga as a form of exercise. इसके अलावा साइकिलिंग, लाइक स्टैटिक साइकिल होती है, वो भी आप एज अ एक्सरसाइज यूज कर सकते हैं. स्किपिंग, इफ यू डू नॉट हैव एनी नी प्रॉब्लम एज सच, नो बैक इश्यूज, then skipping is a form of exercise. So combination of exercise is needed. So try not to do only one kind of physical activity, because जब आप एक ही टाइप की physical activity करते हैं तो एक ही group of muscles work करते हैं. Try to have a combination. Maybe 3 days आपने brisk walk करी, हफ्ते में एक दिन आपने अच्छा योगा करा, एक दिन आपने थोड़ी weight training कर ली. So the combination will always add variety and you will enjoy it. So आजकल Zumba की classes होने लगी हैं. That's also a form of dance and exercise combined, and it's fun with good music, good vibes. And believe me, when you exercise, your happy hormones increase and you get the feeling of high and feel energetic. And it's a very good form of de-stressing. So emotional eating की बात कर रहे थे. So maybe this can be practiced जब लग रहा है कि अब हमें emotional burst हो रहा है and we'll do some binge eating. Why not do something that will make you exercise and make you feel better?
Awesome, awesome. So, any question, please? Yeah, please.
So there's a lot of debate going on this. See, ideally, it is recommended that you heat your food on the regular stove. If for easy things, in moderation, microwave heating is okay. More research is needed, because see what is happening with urbanization and so many changes, easy things. We are also seeing a lot of young age cancers also. So a lot of reasons for this is being contemplated, and microwave cooking was one of it, that it also impacts. So more research is needed to really stamp it. But yes, if you can avoid it, why not?
Great. Yeah.
सो एक बहुत पुराना जो लोग आयुर्वेदा भी फॉलो करते हैं, नेचुरोपैथी भी फॉलो करते हैं, उसमें भी कहा जाता है कि सोने से 2 घंटे पहले आपको खाना खा लेना चाहिए. ओके. एंड आइडियली एक हम अगर वो देखें, पिरामिड बनाएं, तो सबसे हैवी हमारा, इट शुड बी अ ट्रायंगल इज लाइक दिस फॉर द मील पोर्शंस. सबसे पहला हैवी ब्रेकफास्ट होना चाहिए, सबसे हैवी. मॉडरेट लंच होना चाहिए, डिनर सबसे लाइट होना चाहिए. अभी क्या हो गया है कि इन बिजी शेड्यूल इट इज एब्सोल्युटली द अदर वे. ब्रेकफास्ट हल्का फुल्का करा, दूध पीकर आ गए, फिर ऑफिस में बीच में टी ब्रेक लिया, कुछ स्नैक खाया, लंच करा, शाम को थोड़ा बहुत कुछ इधर उधर से खाया, फिर डिनर पेट भर के खाया, बिकॉज दैट्स द लास्ट मील ऑफ द डे. यू रिलैक्स फॉर द एंटायर डे एंड यू आर ईटिंग द फुल मील. सो कॉन्शियसली वो रीजन समझो, उसको धीरे धीरे चेंज करो. आई डू नॉट एक्सपेक्ट कि आपको बोला कि आप कल से करो तो चेंज हो जाएगा. बट अगर आप हैवी कुछ स्नैक शाम को खा लेंगे, अगर प्लान अच्छा स्नैक खा लेंगे, सो डिनर ऑटोमेटिकली लाइट हो जाएगा. एंड खुद ही सोचने की बात है, अगर हम बहुत हैवी मील लेते हैं और एकदम सो जाते हैं, वी आर नॉट मूविंग एट ऑल, it's difficult for our body also to feel digested. Bloating issues, gastric issues, reflux, this is very common with that. So try not to take a very heavy meal before sleeping, and try to have a gap between meals and sleep.
Great. Any other questions, please? Okay, please.
Absolutely fine. Have a early dinner and रात को भूख लगे fruits खाओ, बिल्कुल ठीक है, कोई problem नहीं है.
Yes.
It's a combination, sir. Food habits is one of the major contributors for gut issues, because बहुत processed food खाया जाता है, and when we eat lot of processed food, it impacts our gut adversely. So symbiosis state जो है हमारी, वो बिगड़ जाती है, and bad bacteria grow करने लगता है, and healthy bacteria कम हो जाता है. हमारे gut में bacteria रहता है, which is healthy bacteria. उसके लिए हमें 2 चीजों की जरूरत है, probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics is like the fermented food से जो आपको मिलता है, And prebiotic is the fiber that you eat. वो आपके जो gut है, जो bacteria gut में रह रहा है, उसका food है. So you need to have prebiotic and probiotic. जब आप वो balance करते हैं, तो automatically you'll feel healthier. And अगर we go back to the ancient times also, so a lot of people used to say कि ज़्यादा बीमारियां पेट से हैं. I mean, that was the little way of talking about it. वो बैक्टीरिया उसी से है. So हमारा दूसरा क्या होता है कि अगर हम बहुत एंजाइटी में रहते हैं, we are feeling very uneasy, emotionally not at ease. So हमारा we feel butterflies in the tummy. है ना? तो घबराहट जिसको बोलते हैं कि टमी में हो रहा है, because the mind and the gut is interrelated. So sometimes people come to us for IBS kind of a thing कि उनको बार बार irritable bowel syndrome हो रहा है, and पता चलता है कि emotional distress की वजह से था. They actually need mind relaxation techniques, breathing exercises and better lifestyle from the mind than actually a medicine.
Great. Any other questions? Yeah.
I'm not eating any fried or deep fried. So, is this a substitute?
See, it's a better option than deep frying, but ultimately क्या उसमें air fry कर रहे हो? Potato chips कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, समोसे कर रहे हैं, मैदा से बने हुए, so वो भी बहुत important है,
Smileys
है ना? Smileys कर रहे हैं, so which are already pre-cooked. Kind of, you're just kind of refreshing them with that. So it needs to be used the right way with the right kind of food. You can, I mean, frying भी कर ली, moderately कर ली, and right oil में कर ली, then it is okay. अगर आप unhealthy food को air fry करो तो ठीक है, आपने oil कम कर लिया, but it's not really, you're not really substituting it with the right thing, because फिर आपको एंड फ्रीक्वेंटली कितना करो, ये भी देखा जाता है कि साइकोलॉजिकली क्या फील हो रहा है कि हम एयर फ्राई कर रहे हैं और वो पैकेज फूड ही यूज हो रहा है उसमें, सो दैट अल्टीमेटली इट इज अ पैकेज फूड दैट इज बीइंग यूज्ड इन दैट.
Great. You were asking some question, yeah.
Juices are not recommended. Whole fruits is the best way. आजकल क्योंकि contamination बहुत होने लगा है, pesticide बहुत है, so पहले I never used to tell my patients to peel the skin. But जो fruits में हमें मालूम है जिनमें wax लगा हुआ है या color हो सकता है, so peel off the skin. सबसे पहले wash अच्छे से करेंगे, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था, vinegar and मीठा सोडा डालकर उसमें wash करेंगे. उसके बाद you can peel off the fruit skin and then eat it. Some fruits do not really require that. Like आप banana लेंगे तो obviously उसमें अगर आपको धोने की इतनी clean करने की जरूरत नहीं है, because it's got a thick skin. Smoothies are a substitute of including fruits. Now some people find it very difficult to eat fruits, so smoothies is a good option because उसमें आपने fiber भी ले लिया, because smoothie में आपने juice नहीं निकाला and fiber, it's with fiber, so it can be it can also be included. So healthy smoothies can be made with low fat milk or yogurt, fruit डालकर, some chia seeds या कोई भी seeds आजकल आ रहे हैं बहुत तरीके के, वो डाल सकते हैं. उसमें आप dates डाल सकते हैं. Do not add honey and sugar to increase the sugar content of it. So it's a good way. You can include smoothies, you can have whole fruits. That's the right way.
Any other? So now I think, wow. So Dr. Surbhi, thank you so much for the insightful session, because lots of new things we have got to know from you. And of course, we'll follow that and start it in the daily routine. And thank you so much for watching the show, Bubble Chat at Morepen. Watch it. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe now, Bubble Chat at Morepen on YouTube. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.